Hello and welcome. Today, November 12th of 2022, and we have awesome shiny sunny weather here in Sweden, which is very unusual. Also, yesterday, Ukrainian forces liberated Kherson city, which is a very big achievement, and now Russians are forced to pull back closer to Crimea. So I have rather good mood, and that's why I decided to have a ride and maybe try to record a vlog video. This is actually gonna be my first ever vlog video recording on a motorcycle. So, of course, I'm still riding my beautiful MV Agusta Stradale 800, and today I'm gonna visit some friends and buy some stuff. So first I'm gonna go to the Media Markt drive-through, but that's not the subject of today's video. First, of course, let me start the motorcycle and get it rolling. Yeah, MV Agusta doesn't like to start from one click. You need to pull it for a bit longer. Okay, I hope the audio and the video setup is okay and we can get going. So what I wanted to talk, actually I have lots of different subjects, and I couldn't really decide what I wanted to pick as the first subject for my vlogging video, but then I finally agreed with myself that the first subject will be about road safety and how Sweden has one of the most secure traffic in the world. I would not say that it's the most secure traffic in the world, but it's certainly one of the most secure traffic. I'm not sure if you are aware, but back in the days, the seat belt was discovered and then patented and then released to all car manufacturers by a Swedish company, Volvo. And Volvo is still a big car manufacturer, and they are very popular here in Sweden. So, Sweden has historically been a very safe place to ride, and we pay lots of attention to safety on the road. We also have a zero vision policy, and this policy is aiming to reduce the number of road casualties per year to 0. And how do we achieve that? Okay, I'm getting off the highway and it's a bit calmer here, so I can try to continue recording. So I talked about the safety on the road in Sweden, and many believe that we have safe traffic because we have very few cars, or comparatively few cars, and then we also have like new cars, we have inspections for the cars, and big fines if you drive unfit car, and if the car breaks on the road. We also have insurance and all that stuff. Also, we have rather safe road constructions, and all that contributes to the road safety. But I believe that the most important part in the road safety in Sweden is the driver's mentality and the policy and your attitude towards other drivers and how you are taught in the driving school. So before moving to Sweden, I spent about 5 years in China, and 3 out of these 5 years I've been riding a motorcycle. So I had a pretty good idea how to ride a motorcycle, and I never had any accidents. I had a couple of times I almost got into troubles, but luckily I managed to save the situation and didn't get any crashes. So I had a pretty good control over the motorcycle. I had experience in traffic, and Chinese traffic is extremely chaotic, so I also learned to pay attention to all the details and be prepared that from any unexpected direction you can have someone coming towards you. So with all that experience, when I came to a Swedish driving school and the driving instructor took me for a test ride, after test driving to the parking lot where we trained slow driving, he came to me shaking his head and saying, "Man, you really do know how to ride a motorcycle, but you will never pass a Swedish examination with such riding." And I asked, "Why?" And he looked at me like I'm a complete jerk or complete idiot and said, "You give no respect to other drivers." And it was true. I didn't give any respect to other drivers. I just minded my own ride, and if I can go, I go. If the rules allow me to go, I go. And that's not what we do here in Sweden. In Sweden, starting from the first lesson in the driving school, you're learning that road is a common public place and everyone contributes to the safety on the road. What's more important that you are allowed to break traffic rules for the sake of safety. So let me bring you an example. Let's say you are driving on a studded tires and there is a street where you are not allowed to drive through studded tires. But then an accident happens and you cannot proceed the original route which you anticipated. So for the sake of safety, you are allowed and recommended to go onto the prohibited road instead of piling up, causing a traffic jam, and figuring out how to turn back and pick something else. There are also some places where big lorries are not allowed to drive at all. But if a lorry got stuck somewhere and there is no way to go without causing severe damages to the road traffic and causing some problems to the throughput of the intersection, let's say, then it is advised to go on the road where the lorries are not allowed and get off as quickly as possible. Of course, if your lorry can physically fit inside there. Sure, every particular case will be up to the road police to judge. If you violate a traffic rule, it's still a violation, but the road police has complete rights to decide if it was a dangerous violation, if it was severe violation, or it was for the sake of safety. And in that regard, Swedish police, at least the road police, is very good. Very often they don't fine you. Instead, they just say, hey, you've done something which is unsecure, and we warn you that don't do that anymore. Of course, if you do something really bad, they will take an action on you. Okay, I have arrived to my first destination where I'm supposed to pick up some stuff for a friend. Thus, I will continue my recording a bit later. So here I have got some respect from this shopping mall. They have got special dedicated place for motorcycle parking. That's very nice. Let's see what other motorcycle we see here. Is it Honda CB? Yes, it's Honda CB 650. It's actually a very nice motorcycle, but unfortunately a bit too heavy to my liking, so I prefer my Agusta. Well, while I'm standing here and trying to pack my stuff, I can still do some extra recording. When I came to the driving school in Sweden, we had to pass two major tests. The first test is called Risk 1, and this is mostly practical, so you are just participating in a group and discussing the road safety and the other stuff, and they show you videos and explanations of what happens when you don't know how to properly control your motorcycle, what happens when you do not have enough time to brake, what happens if you can't see the pedestrians, and the other stuff like that. And also, well, there is lots of useful information, and I will not tell you everything I go there, so you will have something interesting to observe yourself if you ever go to a Swedish driving school. But in the future, if there will be demand, I might make another video about the Swedish driving license, like the whole process and what you're getting to learn here and there. I am back to where we left. So I stopped at Risk 1, which is basically a theory about how to be safe in the traffic, and then we also have a Risk 2, and Risk 2 is a practical thing where you actually have to experience impact of a crash. You are learning emergency brakes, and you are also getting a demonstration of your reaction time. So even though all the road conditions and all the calculations indicate that you have enough time to stop in time and avoid collision, in reality, because of the reaction time and because all the humans are different and most of us don't have enough time to actually appropriately react in a stressful situation and avoid collision. That's why it is extremely important to always keep the distance, to always be extra careful and pay attention to unexpected factors such as children, for example, or maybe animals or drunk drivers and other stuff like that. So on risk 2, you're getting like a practical feeling and practical explanation of why it is important, and in combination with risk 1, it is giving you a very good understanding of the road safety, road respect to each other, and you start to think about the whole driving thing in a different way. You're changing your attitude from I need to get there fast to I need to get there safe, because it's not just your safety. You might not bother about your own life. I know that there are some people who have this attitude like I better leave short but bright, but you're also putting at risk lives of others, and especially of children. And if you happen to cause some major accident with some casualties or some damages to children, most likely you will survive, but will you be able to peacefully live with such a load on your shoulders? I don't think so, or at least I hope that many of us will not be able to. The respectful motorcycle drivers, I mean. Well, that's what we get to know in the driving school. And then, on the lessons themselves, you're actually learning the experience of Swedish traffic. For example, we have a rule which is not documented in any book, but it is a rule that you are taught in school and you are expected to follow. When you are on a highway and someone wants to join the highway, you have to help them join the highway. It's not like their duty to join highway in a safe way, for example, like it is in Germany, but it is a task of the entire traffic flow. The people who are driving on the highway are obliged to help people who are joining the highway to make it safe. And if you need to accelerate and let people join after you, you do that. If you need to slow down and let people join before you, you do that. If you need to change the traffic lane from the left to the right or from the right to the left to let people safely join, you also do that. And that's how it all goes. Also, we have a unique road sign in Sweden which indicates turn by turn joining the lane. For example, if two lanes are merging together, or if two roads are connecting each other and both of the roads are of significant or equally significant value, so you can't identify which one is the major one and which one is the secondary one, then we have this special sign which is like kågroll, it's called in Swedish, but it means that you're supposed to join one car from each lane at a turn, and no one is trying to squeeze in as fast as possible. If it's your lane's turn, you get in. If it's not your lane's turn, you just stand by. And that would not work in any other country I have visited, because people would simply ignore it and would just, okay, there is an empty space, I will join in. Another thing why we have so calm driving is because many drivers, or most of the drivers, they have their car insured. Of course, there is mandatory insurance which covers only the damages of the other car and some medical bills of the driver that you happen to hit and cause some damage. But most of the cars, we also have at least some level of insurance for their own vehicle, and that means that when a traffic accident happens, if it's a small one, no one even bothers about figuring out who is the right one and who is the wrong one. Like, yeah, it's a traffic accident, things happen. Someone didn't see something, someone did not evaluate the road correctly, and here we are, we like bumped into each other. So in that case, we just file an insurance report and insurance deals with it. You get a confirmation from the insurance that your case is accepted. After that, the insurance is contacting the service points where you can get reparation done for your car. Then you book appropriate time and then you get it done. Of course, you have to pay the starting fee for using the insurance. For example, for me, once it happens that I've been hit by a car, but it was very hard to figure out who was actually right and wrong there, and the other guy claimed that it was me who was wrong. I believe that it was him who was wrong, but it doesn't matter. So the bill for bodyworks for my car would be somewhere about 16 to 1700 euros. And with the insurance I had to pay only 300 euros. Of course, 300 euros is a substantial amount of money, but it's nothing compared to 1700, and it saves you so much stress, and you don't have to figure out on your own what to do, how to do, all the other stuff. And because of most of the drivers have this insurance and have this attitude, you can basically never see that people are trying to argue or fight each other on the road because someone hit somewhere or someone did something stupid. Another interesting fact about Swedish driving safety is that pedestrians are always right. For example, if you go on a green light and pedestrians have red light and then you hit a pedestrian, this is your fault. Of course, it is not as severe as if you would hit a pedestrian on a red light for you, because if you drive on the red light, your driving license will be immediately revoked, and you will have to go and pass the driving examinations again. But even if you go on the green light and pedestrians are trying to cross the road in an inappropriate place, then it is still your fault, because you as a driver, you are the one who is causing the damage, and you are the one who is supposed to be careful and responsible. Pedestrians cannot cause damage to your car. They do not bring threat to your life because they cannot break through your car. But you can kill pedestrians, you can cause damage to the pedestrians. And that's why it's your responsibility to make sure that it doesn't happen. Drunk driving is another very good example. So if you are driving drunk, your driving license will be immediately revoked. But what is more interesting is that if you are driving drunk on a bicycle, your driving license for a car or for a motorcycle can be still revoked. Because bicycle is considered to be a vehicle, and driving a vehicle while you are drunk is a very severe crime in Sweden, and for that you are losing your driving license. So it's a bit of an awkward situation, because if you do not have a driving license, you can still drive a bicycle while being drunk, and you will get basically no punishment. But if you have a driving license and then you drive a bicycle while you're being drunk, then you're getting a punishment, because your driving license might be revoked, and you will have to go through the test again and prove that you actually know the rules and that you understand the risk of drunk driving and that you want to do that again. Okay, so here you can see a taxi which is coming with a joining lane, and it's going to merge into my lane, and I could go and block the taxi from joining. Instead, I'm just gonna let the taxi in, because that's what we do in Sweden. When you need to facilitate safety, you help others and others help you. Okay, so another thing about safety is that in Sweden, especially in winter, we have a very short daytime and very dark nights. That's why many pedestrians are carrying these reflectors with them, like tags, either on their hands, either on their legs or on their bags, and that helps a lot to see them from the far distance. which is not very common in other countries, and that's a very big pity because it's very hard to see pedestrians in dark clothing trying to cross a road in an inappropriate place with no road lights. Like, it is just asking for an accident to happen. Thus, these smaller road reflectors attached to pedestrians, they help a lot, and I strongly recommend you to get one if you live in a country with a dense traffic and long dark nights. Also, you can take a look at me. What do you see on me? This looks like a student vest, which you're supposed to wear when you go for practice driving with your instructor. But no, this is not a student vest on me. I have 5+ years of driving experience here in Sweden, so I can be an instructor myself. But I still wear this vest. And why I do that? Well, simply because it helps other drivers identify me from far away and much sooner than they would identify me as a motorcyclist who is on the road if I would not have the reflective vest. And these are like small things which some people may consider to be ineffective or unimportant, but in reality it is very important, and when you start to take the whole picture into consideration, everything comes up together and you're getting much safer road traffic, much calmer situation, and even if something happens, it is not a deadly accident, it's accident which can be easily solved with involving insurance and not even bothering the police. And with this, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'm not sure if the quality is good or bad. I'm not even sure if I'm going to publish this video, but it was a good practice to do some driving and recording. In any way, please stay safe, enjoy your rides, and remember that your goal is to have fun, get from point A to point B in a safe way, not in a fast way. If you want to go fast and quick and furious, then please go to a racetrack, get yourself geared up, and it doesn't matter if you're driving a car, if you're driving a motorcycle, or if you're driving a bicycle. If you want to get some road rage, go to a safe place, to a racetrack, and do it there. On the public roads, you're risking not just your own life, not just your own wellness and well-beingness, but it's also all the other people who are either involved in the traffic as drivers, as pedestrians, or they just happen to have their property on your way. So, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, stay safe, bye bye.